Mine. Uh-huh.
And we're live for the final Bogus Hangout before Christmas. So it's our chance to wish you all a bogus Christmas. And we've got other people still to turn up yet. But for now, let me say hello to my good friend and co-host, Bill.
Hello. Hi, everybody. I hope you're having a good end of the year and you're getting ready for the new one. It should be lots of fun and excitement. I just read an article about the all the terrible things that happened in SEO over the course of the year, and I don't believe them. We've seen nothing but good things happening, except for the bad ones.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Apart from the bad things, it's been great.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Well, let me introduce the first of our absolute fresh faces for us this week. Manolis, say hello.
Hey everybody, and Bill and Ammon, thank you for having me on your show again. Just hoping everyone's going to have a happy holiday. If you're like me, you're still doing last-minute shopping. Definitely unprepared, but luckily I'm not cooking anything, so luckily there's nothing bad going on in that department. So, but thank you very much for having me on.
Very good. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Excellent. And of course, John, say hello.
Hello, everybody. Hope you're all having a great Christmas and Christmas holiday season, whether it's Christmas or something else. That's all great as long as you're, with your family and friends and doing cool stuff, and that's really what counts. I am going to be cooking some. I do my traditional Dutch oliebollen on Christmas morning. And normally that's a New Year's morning thing, traditionally in the Dutch world. But I do it on Christmas because that's when the whole family's there, and we have a whole bunch of people that will eat them because I really don't like to have too many leftovers, because then you could probably roll me like a ball down the road. because I happen to really, really like these things. Matter of fact, Christmas Day, that's all I eat is these oliebollen. They're like donut balls, with apple and raisin.
That sounds good.
And dipped in sugar or powdered sugar. Yeah, insanely good.
What day do you start cooking these usually?
Well, the night before.
I'm taking
those before we make. The night before we make the dough and we let it rise in the oven as like a proof box, and then whenever we get up, we start cooking. We get the oil hot in the deep fryer. They're deep fried, and we start cooking, and the cooking goes on for 2 or 3 hours. It's a long process, and during that time, presents are being opened, and all kinds of fun stuff. Marilyn gets on the piano and plays the piano. Bernie, my daughter's husband, is an opera singer, so he sings a few things, and yeah, it's quite an event.
It sounds like it. I'm not going to say it too loudly, but I miss the stuffed cabbage that we used to have as a Polish Christmas treat every year. We haven't done that the last few years. I don't know why.
Yeah, usually it's because
my mom says we've been eating lasagna instead. So.
That's too bad. Yeah, my mother used to make it on New Year's morning. We all used to go over there New Year's, and then she started having problems, mental problems, keeping track of things, and then I started doing it for her, and then she passed away, and that's when Zachary and I, my son and I, sort of took over the tradition and moved it over to Christmas.
Nice.
That's awesome.
So what's on the dinner table for you, Manolis?
Well, my aunt ends up having a huge Christmas Eve party every year, and so we always go to her house on Christmas Eve, and she you know, we call each other like aunt and uncle and grandma, even if we're not blood related. So sometimes it could be someone who's not even related to us, but we're like, you know, hi Aunt Mary or Grandma, you know, Jackie. My grandma-in-law, she is 95 years old, and she does all the cooking, believe it or not, and she's like the best chef in the world. She creates like, she'll make octopus, she'll make baklava, she'll do dulmatis, which is stuffed grape leaves. So this Christmas Eve party is like, you know, I save up my hunger just for this event every year, because she just creates like the best food in the world, and it's amazing. She's just such a cute little old lady who can like whip up a storm in the kitchen. So that's what I'm looking forward to. A bunch of Greek stuff and a bunch of just an assortment of food.
There you go, John. Zara says that you got something in common there. Both of you sons named Zachary.
That's a great name. I love that name. You know, when I was little, you know, my name is John, and there was like 3 or 4 Johns in every class, and I really, as I was growing up, wanted to have kind of something a little more unique than John, but oh well.
Yeah.
Plus, especially what annoyed me was that the outhouse is called a John, and a prostitute's customer is called a John, and you know, I don't know, I just didn't get a good feeling about that.
Well, that was my family's original surname. Up until one of my ancestors a few generations back was named John. He thought that was confusing, so he changed his surname to Johns, and he was John Johns.
Okay. Well, actually, my Moore is not really my ancestral name. It's Vandermoren. But my grandfather, when he came to the United States from Holland, there was a lot of prejudice, and because of that prejudice, he shortened it to Moore. So I really wish he hadn't done that, because I really like Vandermoren. That's a cool name. I wish I had that again. So oh well.
Yeah, I've got the simpler version of Christmas dinner, because over here in the UK we don't have the Thanksgiving. This is our Turkey Day, is Christmas Day, so you know, it's turkey stuffing, all the trimmings, pigs in blankets, dozens of varieties of vegetables, and for some reason Brussels sprouts, always Brussels sprouts for Christmas, even though nobody wants to eat them the rest of the year round. They're a Christmas tradition.
So what's this Boxing Day? We don't have one of those here either. We missed out on that one.
Well, there's a couple of variants on this, but the most persuasive I've heard is that there's a thing called a Christmas box, and people in service industries get a Christmas box. And it was believed that the servants, of course, got this after the family Christmas, that the gifts went into their box, and that's where Boxing Day came from. Whether it's true or not, I don't know, but it's the most likely.
Very interesting. I thought it had something to do with punching people.
No.
Yeah, it could have been the day for revenge for those socks and sweaters, but no, it's apparently to do with the Christmas box.
Exactly. Excellent. Yeah, you know, it's for some reason around this time of year, I don't know about you guys, but you know, when I was younger, I was so excited for Christmas and the holidays and everything, and now, like, you know, started obviously a while back when I stopped getting so many presents and everything. I rarely get presents now, but you know, it's like I kind of get down during the holidays. I don't know about you guys, but it's not as fun as it used to be. The only thing that I could say that I'm looking forward to this year is that we recently got a pet puppy in our household, and I'm looking forward to like getting her some gifts. And I'll try to pull up a Facebook picture of her because she's such a cutie. But This year I'm a little bit more excited than usual just because of the puppy in our household. But once I find the picture, I'll bring it up.
As an adult, it is you have Christmas vicariously through your children. Your children are what makes Christmas magic again. Watching it'll be wonderful for them, and how excited they get weeks before the event. You know, oh, it's almost Christmas. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. You do get fed up with that because you hear that 50 times a day, every day for 3 weeks before Christmas. But that is the thing that does it. And of course, you get all the things that your parents noticed about you are going to notice about your kids. Like, you get them a nice expensive present, and then they spend more time playing with the box than with what was in it.
Exactly. That's funny. I'm trying to... Okay, I got the picture here. I'll share my screen in a second so you guys can see this pup.
Yeah, pop it in the event page, and everyone can peruse at leisure and +1 it.
So yeah, so here's the... here she is. Look at this beautiful dog right here. Do you see that?
Oh, nice. Yeah.
She's a half beagle and half Australian sheepdog, and like cutest pup around. I'll take a screenshot of it and post it in the event page.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I think John's picture's cuter. Man, those look tasty.
That's awesome.
So, Christmas is that kind of time of year. Is it one of the busier or one of the quieter times of year for your business? Usually for me, Christmas is a little bit quieter. It's one of the quieter months because everything I'm doing is sort of done in advance. But this year it's been a bit busy. How about you guys?
It's been a little bit quiet for us because a lot of the things that we had planned for the holidays, we had to plan ahead of time. But we've also heard inquiries from potential clients who already started talking after the New Year. They're ready to go, but they want to have the extended holiday too.
John, how about you? Is he frozen?
I
Is
don't
that John
know.
Snacks?
He's muted. John? John?
Yeah, he might be frozen. I don't see him on my screen. But
You may not even be there.
Exactly. To answer your question, Ammon, we're a little bit slower this time of year, but as much as, of course, you always want to be busy in your business, it's kind of nice because it's given me a lot of free time to plan out the new year. So, I mean, I'm a big planner. I always plan throughout the year, but because of the little slowdown in things right now, I spent the last 4 days really writing out some amazing plans and things that I'd like to do, and I've been talking to people on Google Plus about it, like Dennis Deuce. One of the things I'd like to do next year, which is an extremely ambitious project. Do you mind if I share that, Ammon, by the way?
No, go ahead.
Yeah, one of the things I'd like to try to do next year is utilize Google Hangouts to do a virtual crowdfunding summit, a 3-week event. 9 events a day for a total of 150 panels over 3 weeks.
Wow.
And I'm going to do it from November 30th to December 18th, 2015. And, you know, there hasn't been really any virtual summits around the topic of crowdfunding. I'm not sure if there's been this large scale of an operation done through Google Hangouts that I'm aware of. And so it would literally take up, I mean, I'm almost willing to shift my business model for this, take a year and solely focus on this huge endeavor, because to have, you know, 150 different panels, you would need at least 3 Google Plus producers. You would have at least 500 people participating, a moderator, plus 3 guests per panel. It would be a huge ordeal to organize and promote, but I think something like this would be very interesting, and it would create 150 hours of like high quality content and educational content that all someone would really need to do is just have that 3 weeks of footage, and they would have every answer they would need answered about crowdfunding. So that's what I've been kind of scheming about over the last 4 days is, wouldn't it be cool to use Google Hangouts to have this virtual crowdfunding summit at the end of next year?
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. I've been looking at Hangouts for events and suggesting, some interesting ones. What I want to see is conferences done in several cities around the world, and the conferences linked via Hangout, so that at each place you've got somebody who's on the Hangout, who's being a host for that area, where there's speakers at each one of these, and through the Hangouts they're shared with all. So
that's awesome.
3 or 4 continents involved.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Lee, that is the live link in the event page. So it's open to anyone to jump in.
Mm-hmm. So the idea would be to have a hangout that involved people in different countries and different places to join together as one final show.
Yeah, I mean, basically what you're doing is you're taking real world and virtual conferences and mixing the two together, so that you've got a hangout with a lot of people in the audience, basically an actual seminar that links all of these seminars together. Each one with a big screen for the audience and speakers from around the world at each of these destinations, and really doing a huge event that's part virtual, part physical, so you've got both kinds of networking going on.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I think that'd be really cool. I mean, you could integrate polling and stuff, and yeah, there's a lot of cool things. I'm brand new to Google Hangouts just this year, and I have a lot more work to do. But I mean, I'd imagine that Google's strategy is probably to really use this as the main vehicle to promote Google Plus, because in my opinion, if you're not using Google Hangouts and you're on Google Plus, then you might as well not use Google Plus. That's just my opinion. But if you're not using it, then you might as well not even be on it. That's just how I think about it. What do you guys think?
It certainly is one of the most unique features of the platform, but I think there's an awful lot to Google Plus regardless. I think just what it can do with the videos you post, the pictures you post, auto awesome, with the new auto improvement of video as well, which is beating even what YouTube's got. It's going to become more and more a place for just posting good content. But yeah, for me, Hangouts are the absolute jewel in the crown. Hello, Zara.
Hi. You know what? I missed an important part. I was silencing the screen so I could come on. What is the topic of your conference Hangout combination?
Are you asking me, Zara, or are you asking
No,
Bill?
I'm asking Ammon.
Oh, Ammon, sorry, yes.
With his conferences, yours was very clear. An awesome production. I mean, that's just mind-boggling.
And I want to say I've watched a few of your shows, and you guys do a great job on your Hangouts. So a lot of great guests. I've learned a lot from your show, just FYI.
Oh, thanks, William. I appreciate that.
I think my one, I'd like to do one on international trade, and particularly talking about ways of not just selling across different countries, but also the thing that more and more of us are doing, where we're working with people in various countries. We're outsourcing, we're insourcing, or we're being an outsource, and you know, I think there's a lot more collaboration going on anyway. I think that's the event that people would be interested enough to go to a physical event to be a part of it, and would tune into the event itself.
That's a great concept. I like that concept.
It just strikes me that, you know, between them, you know, one of my list of people to invite would certainly be John Moore, and getting the Oceanside Chamber of Commerce involved.
There you go, Bill.
Oceanside, rock on.
Oceanside in the hizzy.
I lived in Oceanside for a little bit. That was a great place to live.
You did?
I did.
All the cool people live there.
When I was a teen, I mean, I grew up in California, so I got a chance to go hang out everywhere.
Yeah, I grew up in Encinitas, which is just south of Oceanside. And
you can see in here, babe.
See, that's what you have to do to get cool. You have to go move there. You have to live somewhere around Oceanside. Then you're cool. And you can come on Bill and Ammon's.
See, it's even better when you actually live up in Lake Arrowhead, though. Now that was a beauty.
So what high school did you graduate from?
Me?
Yeah.
Rim of the World High School.
Oh, I don't know that one.
Rim of the World High School was basically where all of us Lake Arrowhead geeks went. Anywhere from Crestline, which was mid-mountain, and then you had Running Springs, which was a little higher up, and we all kind of met together in one school. And they called it Rim of the World because literally when you actually drove up the mountain, I think it was Highway 18, you were on the ridge of the mountain, and then basically you came across the school off your left-hand side. And so what was really cool was in the morning you would see the sky. The sky was beautiful blue, but all the clouds filled the entire city, and it was just, you were above all the clouds every single time. But at the same time as you had the wind coming up that drift in the winter, so it was kind of interesting. We beat every football team because elevation.
That's awesome.
Well, they were huffing and puffing when they came up on our mountain, because they're at 6,000 feet elevation. They're all used to playing down at sea level.
Right. It takes 3 days. 3 days to a week, actually.
Yeah, and those kids didn't have time to actually, you know, go through the breathing treatments and everything else to accomplish the goal that they needed to do at that elevation. So it was a massacre, really.
How are the cheerleaders?
Yeah.
And the dance team, and the oh my gosh, can you imagine like all the trumpet players? Like when it's like halftime.
Oh yeah.
I think they had a hard time playing their instruments.
Especially if they're losing, right? Ouch. Yikes, I didn't go there. It was a good school. I haven't been back since, but you know, hey.
It sounds like a really cool name for a school, Rim of the World. Like that's, you couldn't have come up with a better name.
It was. I learned a lot. I mean, I learned how to be the non-rich kid in a rich environment. So it's kind of interesting becoming an entrepreneur in the school early days. But that's a different time, different story.
Cool. No, I mean that's really interesting. I feel like Ammon is broadcasting from the Rim of the World.
It looks like it.
Well, he's in the North Pole, isn't he?
Ah, yeah, les Alpes.
Yeah, well, we've got to go with the Christmas theme. Let everyone know, you know, it's got to be done.
So it says text Santa on your hat, but you don't have your number.
You should know by now. Look, writing to Santa, that's old school. You know, you just got to text him these days.
Do they have a program where you can text Santa?
Google does.
Really?
Yeah, there's an actual app right now that Google pushed out that I think you can text him, and then there's a game as well associated.
Is that
with
part? Is that like from the update from Santa Tracker? I played that like so much last year. I even played it. I was like playing it throughout the year.
It's the new.
I haven't played it since the update, so it's the Santa Tracker. Awesome. I'm gonna have to check it out.
The new Santa Tracker, and then also Google's got the kids involved. So a lot of the kid programmers are incentivized to go out and code into their platform for Santa. So that's killer because you're going to have these kids that are entrepreneurs in their own minds going into an opportunity that they get to code for Google, and maybe it turns into something. You know, you never know.
A Christmas dream come true.
Really?
But the fun part is what happens with all the visitors that get to enjoy the application those children develop. You know, it's something that boggles my mind because these kids are so creative these days. You know, I've got a 15-year-old that's actually programming as on his own, but it's fascinating to hear the design ideas that come out of these creative minds. So, just me.
Yeah, well, mine are busily, creating worlds in Minecraft now, and
Minecraft's old, eh? Minecraft's old school. I mean,
they're only young. Mine aren't at 15 yet.
Well, Microsoft bought it, so they think there's something onto it. But there was something really onto it a long time ago. But that's now kind of old school into new games now. So I don't know. You get me into the gaming side of things, and Twitch and streaming on Twitch is a beautiful thing for a lot of people. But then at the same time, is communicating with gamers on their platform on Steam, maybe. It's a lot like what we have here on Google Hangouts, but they've had it a lot longer than we have. So it's a little bit more spammy on that side.
How you doing, Lee?
I'm alright. How's it going? A bit quiet around here, isn't it? Everybody drunk or something? We've been on the sherry.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Oh, okay. So what are we talking about?
Well, we've been talking about Christmas dinners and what everyone's eating.
Yeah, apparently the shops are going to be shut for a couple of hours in a couple of days' time. Everybody's panicking.
I'm not sure it'll be a whole couple of hours, just an hour, I think.
Yeah, around here there's 15 shops that we could go to. Probably 10 of them are going to be open at least on those 2 days where everybody else has decided to take a day off. I think it should be banned.
Well, for some of them, it's not a holy day,
No, I think it should be on overtime. You should be working twice as hard in those 2 days to make up for the last 6 weeks that you've been going, well, it's nearly Christmas, this way.
Are you trying to upset Dustin there, Kristin? It's quite a big URL that's just got posted. It won't all go in the window.
What is
barely all fit in the browser.
It's Santa Tracker.
Oh, Santa Tracker. Okay.
Yeah.
SantaTracker.google.com.
Well, okay, so I don't want to do that one because, okay, William, tell him. Why is Boo.gl bad?
Okay, so what I'm doing right now is I'm going to go back to one of my old posts, and that's what I was doing over here on the side screen. But I'm going to grab the post that I've got for the Android. I don't know what it is for the iPhone because I don't have one of those. I have Mac everything except for the phone. But the application it's free. It's the same thing as the tracking Santa, but it's even better. You can text Santa. I think like we're talking, we can text Santa. There's games for the kids to play, all sorts of things. I think you can even cast it on I believe you can cast it on your TV if you have the Chromecast.
Wow.
So, not quite sure, but they've gone kind of really elaborate on this one.
Yeah.
Would you mind explaining why the goo.gl is not something that, you know what you told me about that?
Me?
No, William.
Should I hide now? I'm in public and you asked me this. Thanks, Kristin.
Well, I've been saying it everywhere. I didn't know it was not supposed to be like Okay.
Well,
Now I'll go hide.
so Denver and I were talking, and basically I was talking to him about, because he's a total geek on security as well, and so I wanted to get his opinion on something, and it's something that I reported and created a ticket 4 months ago with Google, and it's related to the Google URL shortener, and I guess I might as well come out and say it, but it's unsecure. If you go to the goo.gl URL, you'll see that the cascading style sheet is broken. And then if you run a scan on the SSL, you'll actually find that URL has inconsistency, or sorry, that SSL has inconsistencies, and it has some weaknesses. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say.
Sorry.
You're not going to tell us how to hack it. Oh, no.
Well, okay, so the scary part is, Bill, knowing that patent exists in the Google URL shortener, and going back to the history of URL shorteners, you and I both have played and built our own shortening tools, and we've had the experience of the URL, if all of a sudden the URL or the database gets broken, the URLs across the entire internet are now broken as well. And so when I came across the Google URL shortener, I loved it because Google's not going away. This is this is one of those things that, well, right now they're not going away, but my URLs are safe. Okay? When I noticed this 7 months ago, it was concerning, but then I figured, oh, it's Google, they're going to fix it. And you know about man-in-the-middle attacks with shortened URLs, right, Bill? I mean, it goes back into the dated history of how we actually can interrupt in the middle of a URL. We can interrupt that and put whatever URL we want. So if I wanted to be vicious, then I can actually put a hack into the URL so that as soon as they actually click on the URL shortened, it's trusted by Bill Slawski. But now I've injected it with something that you don't want to actually have inject on your computer. Therefore, now I've hijacked your computer and I can turn it into a botnet. So, scary stuff. I hope they fix it. The ticket's there. Everybody says I should collect a bounty, but I would rather protect Google before collecting a bounty. Kind of ridiculous. But at the same time, I use the tool all the time, and you see it in my posts. But there's also a lot of other things I want to be able to add to that tool as far as organization. If I have a campaign, I want to be able to track that campaign in a group. I don't think that team has really spent a lot of time with that tool. But if that exists, Kristin, now you brought that up, if that exists, what other products are vulnerable that they haven't touched recently? Those teams may have not paid attention to those areas.
Well, one of the things that we know is that most of the internet is vulnerable, and some of the things that are supposed to lock it down are actually just as bugged themselves.
Yes.
There's rumours, of course, that the spook agencies have been trying to make sure that the bugs stay in it for a long time because it makes their job a lot easier.
Yeah, and Ammon, you're a gamer, right? And you've played on the platform of Steam, I'm sure. Everybody does. Now, take that as an example where one kid was to actually violate another kid with a DDoS attack, just as a threaten, hey, I can do this to you. Why is that allowed in an environment? Why is it DDoS, a simple DDoS where I can quickly find an IP, I can find the router, I can find the actual room that they're in, and then I can DDoS that account by an ID, as you know. And kids do this all day long. But when you take that a step further with the same tools that they possess, where does that stop?
I'm not quite sure your question.
Okay, so
who are you asking to fix it?
You can't. You can ask Steam, you can report it and everything else, but what's happened is it's ignored. and these kids are able to hack each other with DDoS. So they have access to whatever tool. I mean, there's a lot of cool tools out there. Now, when you get a kid and they're playing, and another kid goes, "Hey, you stole something from me in a trade," right? You know how they trade virtual knives or guns, skins.
Yeah.
When that happens, there's always that chance that that might have been stolen from somebody else, right? And so now a kid's going, "Hey, you got my stuff. Give it back. I'm going to DDoS you and shut down your entire network if you don't give it back," right?
Yeah.
How do we stop something like that? I don't know. I mean, I had to experience it with my son, and I said, okay, here's the tool. Here's the tool to show him his IP address and his exact location, but I'm not going to show you how to DDoS, right?
Right. Hold on. Some of this is stuff that's, it's vulnerabilities of the internet itself. Let's pick a little story. There's this place called Korea, which apparently knows a thing or two about hacking. Supposedly at least a thing or two more than Sony knows about hacking, although Sony just had a lesson. And apparently, in a bit of a reprisal, they got taken offline with the DDoS. The whole country. Now, when you can take a whole country offline, why do you think anybody is ever going to think that they're safe? Because they ain't.
No.
The internet is open. It's kind of like there's this place called the real world, and there's very little stopping somebody from coming around your house, smashing down the door and doing things to you, apart from the law. The fact of getting caught, but actually stopping them if they really determined to do it, part of this is A, don't piss people off enough to want to, and B, understand, yeah, these things can happen, and at the end of the day, your security is your own affair. And I'm not sure that I'm in favour of trying to make it foolproof, because you can't without closing down the net. And all that means is that somebody else will take power and say, "Oh, we're doing it for your safety. We're going to keep track of what everyone's doing to prevent these terrible attacks happening. Oh, and by the way, there goes your freedom."
True, but and very good point. But then also at the same time is, what about the hacker that's not actually after you for a personal gain or vendetta, but actually turns into a computer hacking a computer at the point that it's a bot, and it's just scrubbing for open ports and open vulnerabilities on our WordPress servers, and it just has to find one thing. Like you've seen it. I mean, it could be the text editor in your WordPress that has that vulnerability, and I can get through it.
Yeah. Basically, somebody can take down your website if they want to. Just pure spur of the moment. They didn't like something you posted, regardless of how nice it was. Can happen. In fact, sometimes your website goes down and it's nothing to do with your site at all. They just didn't like GoDaddy or whoever your host was.
The bah humbug moment.
Well, what if I told you it's a different reason?
Okay.
Well, the fact is, it doesn't really matter what reason.
Well, what if I was actually to have
not a safe playground?
Now that we're into this, Ammon, though, what if I was able to take over your WordPress server and all the other sites that you had on that server, and I was actually not to change anything, but I used it for DDoS bots.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually used your server when I needed to turn on and turn off, to use your bandwidth and your hosting and everything else to execute an attack, and then when I'm done, you had no clue.
Yeah. Well, put it this way. If rumour is to be believed, your government has just done this on behalf of you all.
No, it's not your government.
With a DDoS. Now, that doesn't mean that your government used lots of its own computers, because that would enable it to be tracked for it. So, somebody apparently, you know, agreeing with the president that something should be done, decided to use a DDoS attack, and they had thousands of machines that they could connect up to North Korea to take down their entire internet, take the entire country offline.
I think that we're missing, though, the whole story. I mean, when you start looking a little bit further in the research, I'm not going to say that I don't believe that North Korea is capable of doing it, but I think there's other people at play. And I think there's a lot of hackers out there that can do just what they want to do. But at the same time, you have to still look at yourself and go, okay, forget the political aspect. I mean, there's borders. We've had, you know, wars over borders and everything else, but this is not just a U.S. thing. It's not a China thing. It's not a North Korea thing. It's the entire world thing. You know, when you start looking at...
That's my point, but what I'm saying is, if a place the size of Korea, with the security people that apparently Korea has, that were able to just go straight into Sony and take them down, can't stop it, what makes you think anyone can stop it? I mean, the whole thing is we've painted them as expert hackers, and they couldn't stop a hack.
So let's take a step back, though, and look at the entire infrastructure of their security team, as well as other corporations and their security teams, and then look at the small mom and pop, and look at their security teams.
But the thing is, though, with all that intelligence in North Korea, why did somebody not think about turning it on and off again?
Okay. So, how's everybody spending the holiday? What's your plans for Christmas? Are you gonna be with family? Do you have a tree? Did you decorate? Do you have a wreath out in front? I don't care about Korea. Let's move on. I've had enough of the U.S. retaliating against
North Korea?
Fat North Korean dude who says, "Don't show me getting murdered in your movie."
He's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's totally bogus.
Okay, so
Yeah, I can't think who got him started on that again.
Bill, you went right back to it.
How many of you have Christmas trees up? How many of you have Christmas presents underneath them, or does that happen later tomorrow or right after?
And if you have a tree, is it artificial or live?
And are you going to put milk out for yourself if you're going to be Santa?
Is it going to be cow, goat, or soy?
The cookies with the milk.
Yeah, well, we've had somebody else join in the chat. Marilyn, hello. It's John.
I have to say, Kristin and Ammon, your invitations are pretty much irresistible. So thanks for including me.
Aww.
And we have a 9.5-foot tall Christmas tree from the Christmas tree farm that we go every year. It takes about 40 minutes to drive out there, and it's a big family thing, what we have left of our family. And we love it.
Awesome.
Yeah, I
Everyone here cuts
posted
their
it.
own
I
Christmas
posted it
tree.
last week.
What was that?
I'm just wondering if anyone here cuts their own Christmas tree.
Not this year, but I have in the past.
Sure.
That ain't grow around.
When the kids were little, there was a Christmas tree farm real nearby where they gave you the saw and let you cut it down yourself. That was cool because they got to cut their own tree down. But I think nowadays people think in terms of liability, so they always have somebody follow you around at these farms and they cut it down for you. So I'm sure you maybe could pay them off to get a chance to cut it down, but, they tend to not.
Here's
They
$5.
tend to
I
not
want all my kids to have a whack.
So, John, this is an important question. I've been taking the survey. In California, do they let you pump your own gasoline, or do they insist on doing it for you?
No, everything is self-serve.
Well,
They serve for you.
in New Jersey, they insist on filling it for you. I guess they don't want people blowing cars up. But,
Yeah, they do that in Oregon too.
Yeah.
Or in Oregon, somebody pumps your gas.
Huh?
Hey,
You haven't seen the kind of people they tend to employ at garages over here. You wouldn't want them. I don't think they trust them not to blow it up. So, usually minimum wage job, you know.
Most gas stations out here, there are no attendants. The only person there is the person behind the paywall, and it's a wall literally, and you pay them. And if you have a credit card, you never even see a human being. You just slide your card, and away you go. So
Yeah.
it's completely self-serve.
It's similar here. They have the ability to turn on and off the pumps from inside the station, but that's it.
Yeah.
Do you think the North Korea situation has affected the price of oil and therefore the petrol's going down?
No.
Well, no, that's supposed to be against the Russians. That was their option instead of sanctions against Russia. Was that a little deal was made between the West and the Middle East to bring down the price of oil. Egypt and Saudi Arabia are pumping out as much oil as they possibly can, which has brought down the prices and means Russia can't sell its oil. Can't sell it for love or money. They can't bring it down to the same kind of price. That's supposedly what the financial meltdown over there is about at the moment, is they can't sell the oil.
That's brutal. Yeah, I'd love to get the perspective of Russia if we have someone from Russia, because I hear, you know, I spoke to somebody who's part of the entrepreneurial ecosystem, and he said that things are really bad out there, but that was like a month ago. But I think things like the economic sanctions are really beating them up right now.
They are. It's not good.
I'm not sure I swallow the oil thing because it would be counterproductive. You know, we're in a time where we're being told that oil reserves are running low, and literally, you know, some of the scientists are saying within 20 years we'll have reached such a crisis where there won't be enough oil for everybody. Would hardly be a sanction to make Russia the last country in the world with oil, and everyone subservient to them, would it? I mean, that wouldn't quite work out.
Right.
Somebody's tree.
Hey, I've got a different question to stir the pot like Bill tried to do with Christmas. Let's talk about how many people have a panda or a penguin on their Christmas tree.
I have a panda on my T-shirt.
Okay, that's close. It's close. I've seen a lot of great decorations. Oh, there it is. All right, see, that's the future of 2015 right there.
There's a penguin right there on John's screen.
Penguin.
Yeah.
I've always got pandas on my tree because that's one of my favorite animals.
There you go. It's one of mine. Now,
I have a lot of panda ornaments.
Now, you heard about the polar bear update, right? That's coming. It's briefly talked about right now on Google, but I think it's going to really actually progress in 2015. But I can't pin it yet. So, just saying.
Does anyone want to talk about like their New Year's resolution? Omi Cito is suggesting that. Next week? Okay.
Yeah,
We gotta wait, Omi.
I'm still keeping mine from 7 years ago. 7 years ago, I made the resolution to never make another New Year's resolution. I've kept it 7 years.
I like my 90-day challenges. My 90-day challenges seem to actually stick because it's not just the whole year. Or even a 30-day challenge, right? If you can challenge yourself, or even exercise, 15 days. Can you do it? I don't know. I'm gonna try. But
When I made you that too.
say what?
30-day challenges. Yeah,
I love those 30-day. I did a 90-day challenge with teaching.
These are good, yeah.
My 90 just finished up with teaching. So as much as I can teach online, now I got a new one. I'll tell you guys later.
What's the 30-minute challenge?
A new secret one.
we might want to keep that one until next week.
Oh, I'm not giving it away.
Yeah.
No, you'll see that on my wall.
Or you'll collect a bounty on it.
Right. I just want Google to hear me. That's all. You know, hear me, and I can show you guys how to fix it really quick.
So in all that intelligence in North Korea, why didn't somebody just think about turning it off and on again?
Right.
Yeah, like pull the plug.
Yeah.
Like Windows.
Plug out, check the fuse, put it back in.
Like Windows, right? If you open the door and close it, it reboots.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, just reboot it.
I don't know what that's about.
Couldn't say that. What was that?
I pulled up this one, and I was like, I don't know what that's about.
Well, a lot of people don't like panda anymore, and they don't like pandas at all in general, and penguins. I've heard from a lot of people across the web that are webmasters that now they despise those two animals.
These are so nice.
Pigeons is next. You know, we had a pigeon update, so that's going to be the next target of many webmasters, I'm sure. You know, not saying.
To be quite truthful, I don't really care what rules and regulations Google put in. If, you know, I write good content, if people like it, great. If they don't like it, who cares? Move on. I'm certainly not going to let somebody like a global conglomerate tell me what I can and can't do, or what I should and shouldn't put on my website.
Right, and they're not going to tell you whether or not you can be on their website.
Well, that's the difference. Is it's give you an opportunity to be there, right? And
Right.
to be there or not. But
yeah, exactly. But you know, do I want to play there? Do I want to join their party or not? Not really. I don't really care.
But they own the basketball.
Sorry.
They own the basketball.
Who cares?
If
So
they
I'll
go-
play football.
If they go home with the basketball, you can't play basketball anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
as I
but
said,
they're not
so
going
what?
home with the whole basketball. You know, Google owns the biggest high street, but there's plenty of side streets.
Yep.
You can shop on those. You don't need Google. I still say Microsoft has exactly the same audience for Bing as Google has. It's just, you know, Google have spent years telling us that their searches do 10 times as many searches as everybody else. So when you see that, you know, Bing has only got 10% of the traffic, according to Google's own stats, that means it's the same audience.
let me ask you this, man. If I can actually rank for Google, though, I can rank for Bing, Yahoo, all the other search engines anyways, and so I'm still getting traffic from them.
Yeah, but
if
what
I
we're
don't-
saying, if Google decide not to list you because you haven't decided to play by their rules.
Yeah.
You've said, look, do you know what? You're not paying me. You're not buying me. You're not doing any of my business for me. It's great you got those rules, but do you know what? I don't care if you list me or not. Google are not the police of the internet.
Didn't the newspapers in Spain say that recently?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're big companies, aren't they? They need the traffic.
Aren't they begging to be back in Google now?
They didn't want to be excluded in the first place. They responded to, you know, some of the changes.
Well, there's a lot of weird stuff going on in the world right now. I mean, we can go into it pretty elaborate, us geeks. But you know, at the end of the day, is what brings me business? What actually converts into my helping my family and my employees at the end of the day, and that's what I'm after. You know, when I'm after conversion analytics, I look at at the end of the day, did Bing bring me the traffic, or did Yahoo bring me the traffic? Did Twitter, Facebook, Google Plus, any of those returning, and then how else did they actually spend? Did I have a bounce from each one? Was Bing actually my highest bounce? Was Google my highest bounce? What was I doing wrong? And then when I dive a little bit deeper into the page analysis, I can dissect what I did wrong. Now, if I can correct that, then I can correct that for all engines, and I don't have to worry about being penalized.
The search engines don't work the same, and what you do well or do poorly in Google isn't the same as what happens in Bing. Bing seems to have started turning the corner in terms of doing smarter things on the web, like integrating search into MS Word. It helps them sell their online version of Word, and it makes it easier for people to search while they're writing documents. I think that's a smart thing on their part. And they keep on doing smart things like that, and they may have a lot bigger percentage of searches than they have in the past.
And people think they're a monopoly, though, Bill, right? I mean, there's so much controversy on monopolized. Google owns the world, right? But Google doesn't really own the world. They've just done something better than everybody else to exceed in the product that everybody needs to, wants to use and finds ease. I mean, look at Google Apps. Google Apps is basically integrated into Android. There's how many Android users in the world, and with Lollipop, I mean, it's made it simplistic for geeks to actually stay online, as well as stay on top of things. If I have a meeting, I'm looking forward to the Nexus Watch because why not 360, but I want that new one that's going to have the fastest updates, just like my phone with Nexus 5. I get the updates from my camera before anybody else, and you guys all see I take a lot of pictures. But what happens to watch technology? What happens to when you integrate glass technology with watch technology, with your phone technology? All these things coming together, Google's done some fantastic work. Now we've got business opportunity where we have applications. Look at the advanced Hangout opportunities for businesses where it can be completely secure transactions. If I'm a bank and I'm talking to another bank, I can have a complete encrypted transmission on a Hangout. That's insane. But that's Google.
And there are other brands out there, other businesses that are doing smart things that maybe haven't quite been seen by the majority of people. Wolfram Alpha does a great search. They're doing really interesting things. They have a completely different approach to your ability to use it. You have to pay them a certain amount per month to do it. But they're really smart about the way they fuel and power some searches. And we may see more of that.
Well, and they use a lot of the machine learning algorithms that Google would do too, with inside their the hub. But I find them to be pretty fascinating, to be honest with you. When you posted a long time ago about them, I've been following them quite often. As well as there's a few other ones that you've talked about that are very similar, that are not paid, that are also, I think, open source, that provide a lot of opportunity when you're using tools for studying big, large data sets. Like, well, I won't go into all that. Sorry. That's my other thing right now. I'm studying studying large data sets and being able to segment them out, and then also have a tool to automatically learn. And I'm working in the real estate area to fine tune with all the different data sources I'm working with.
Well, just to set you off and give you a project to work on for next week, young Jedi. Take a look at take a look at what things may be replacing Freebase API with.
Yeah, I've been studying on that one a little bit. I'm still kind of confused on how they're going to integrate all that and how it's going to work yet. But I think that they've got something cool there. It's just a matter of if they can pull it off.
Yeah, they do have something cool there, and I spent part of yesterday playing with it. It's actually pretty interesting.
Cool. Well, offline, send me a couple links if you don't mind offline. I'd love to actually figure out where you're shortcutted to and where I can catch up.
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah.
Speaking
it's
of
all
data,
okay though. Sorry, go on.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
I was going to say it's all okay where Google's concerned, because my mate who apparently works at gmail.com can get me on page one, guaranteed. So I don't worry about it. Anyway, you go ahead.
I love those guys. Hey, that one guy that called me the other day, he said that he could do the same thing. I think he's from Google.
Yeah, he's got a Gmail account, so.
Well, he sounded like he was. He said that he knew my account, and I think they even sent me a verification card for my local that I've got to call him with that number It's going to be exciting.
Could be fun.
I love the new. You heard about the spam hacks for local, right?
Don't start us on another topic. We are at time for this week.
See, you guys get me on here and I get in trouble.
Can we go around once with a quick word from everybody?
Yeah, like say like what we're grateful for or something.
I'm grateful for my friends on Google Plus, as well as my family, and happy holidays, guys.
Very good. John?
Oops, Mike.
Johnny muted, mate.
John's muted.
Grateful for the mute button.
Yes, I know. I have to hit the mute button. Yes, Marilyn and I wish you all happy holidays and have a great time and enjoy your family and all of that great stuff, because that's what we're going to do. We're going to be enjoying it.
And I'm grateful for this hangout because John loves this conversation and he's in such a good mood all day Tuesday. So thanks to all of you.
Manolis.
Yes, thank you all for, thank you again, Bill and Ammon, for having me on the show. Happy holidays to all the guests. Great getting to know you all. To the viewers, happy holidays, and I'm grateful for my puppy this year. I'll be able to kind of have I have more to look forward to this holiday season because of my puppy. So.
Lee.
I'm grateful to Google because it inspired me to set up a new project, which is going big in the new year. Whether it ranks or not is another thing altogether.
Zara.
I'm grateful for life. I'm a cancer survivor, so I'm grateful to be alive, and I'm also grateful to Google because I have made so many friends on Google, and I just want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, and thanks Bill and Ammon for this wonderful bogus craziness. Love it. I agree. It makes Tuesday wonderful.
Okay, thank you.
Kristin.
Okay. Yeah, grateful for everything. Just everything. I do want to mention something specific. I was grateful to see that Dwayne Forrester was rehired to Bing. Yay! So I just thought, wow, what an incredible Christmas present to him and his family. Like, that was just really cool to see that. So, yeah, Google, everybody, all of you, mwah, kisses to everyone. Happy holidays, no matter what you believe or don't believe at all.
Cool.
I want to wish everybody great holidays. I'm looking forward to all the collaborations I have planned for next year to work with people whom I haven't worked with yet. It's going to be a joyful year. Thank you all.
Excellent. And, all these warm feelings, somebody's got to bring back the curmudgeon. I'll be grateful when it's over. Have a good